it wasn't too long ago that those refiners were actually had to go and be convinced to go and keep open. Is that something that to keep in mind in the background, or do you think that now the environment has changed sufficiently, there's enough certainty in place that they're going to be there for the long haul?
I think they're going to be around for a lot longer than what people previously had in their forecasts. And, part of that is that government is actually supportive of having these refineries stay open. In fact, they're actually paying to keep them open at the moment. So, I think you're seeing that in oil, you're seeing it in energy markets as well, in terms of thinking about electricity as well. Really interesting stuff going on there. And so, I think maybe we've just jumped the mark in terms of, yes, we all know we need to get to renewables, but it's going to be a journey to get there. And in the interim, we are still going to need energy, and all this underinvestment, it's definitely hitting people's hip pockets in terms of the consumer, who is paying for higher oil and gas prices and also higher electricity prices.
So Kyle, just on that still transition that we've acknowledged is happening, we had major investments being announced by a couple of lithium players in Australia yesterday, Liontown and Pilbara.
Yes.
Are you investing in that side of the thematic as well?
We're not in lithium in any meaningful way at the moment. And I suppose the key thing for us is the dynamics are actually a little bit different in that market. You saw back in 2014, 2015, how quickly things like lithium can actually come online. So where we do have exposure to that EV complex is in areas where we think supply is more constrained and it's harder to bring supply on. So think things like rare earths with companies like Lynas. Very, very hard for rare earths to come online quickly at current prices. And in fact, what you actually need to see in order to incentivize supply is high prices staying elevated, because you've got some high cost producers in China that would be able to meet that supply. But outside of China, China controls 70% of that market, and what you've seen is demand for energy security globally. And so companies like Lynas, a couple of producers in the US, are really benefiting from that energy security need from countries like Japan, South Korea, the US. They're benefiting from higher prices. These countries are paying a premium for sources of rare earths outside of China, but they're also benefiting from investment from places like the US. Lynas just had announced that the US government is going to pay for them to build a production facility over in the US for their operations. Now, when you consider that the US government's actually funding this for them, it's a really attractive investment opportunity for them to profitably expand production to meet this massive demand for things like EV materials and the like.